Are you a stitcher that likes to be organised, or are you a stitcher that would love to be organised, or are you a stitcher that is organised? Either way, I'm a stitcher that loves to be organised. If you're one of those people that never wants to end up with more than one of the same chart because you didn't know you had the first one, sit back, relax, let's have a chat. Hello my lovely Flosstuber friends, and welcome back to my channel. Warm welcome to all those lovely new subscribers. Planning, people, planning, organising, you know how much I love it. For those of you that have been with me for a while, you will know that back in January 2019, I introduced you to my planner, of which was a happy planner that I purchased, and I used the principles that Shazzy C supplies. And I have been working with this for over a year, so I know that planning is a thing for me. I love to make sure I know what I've got, where it is, what projects I've started, when I've started them, you know, the whole shebang. You know, if you've got birthdays coming up and you want to do stitching gifts, I can plan it and I can structure it in. Now, you'll all wonder why in my last video I showed you this. Well, that is because, people, I love to do this, but I don't like this, but I do like this. It's all very confusing, I know. I have decided that I love to plan. I love to be organised. I love to know where all of my bits and pieces are. And this did do that, and still sort of does that. But the problem with it is it's so big, it's bulky. I tend to find it's always in the other room, so I forget to put things in it. It just wasn't working. Whereas this, the good old trusty iPad. Now you all know how much I love to do my stitching from an iPad. Most of my charts are digital. They're on my iPad. If they're not on my iPad, they are on my Android, which obviously I use the Pattern Keeper app. So pretty much all of the time that I'm stitching, I will have a digital device with me, whether it be this or this. But with my stitching, I always have this. So it doesn't make sense, or it didn't make sense to me, to always be rolling around or trying to remember to put things in this, because this was never always in the same room. If you're like me and you don't just stitch in one place, I stitch in my office, I stitch in bed, I stitch in the living room. If it's a lovely sunny day, I might go and sit and stitch underneath the umbrella outside. So because of that, this just, it works, but it didn't work well. There was a lot of having to remember to go get it or go find it to put the things in it that I needed. With this, I don't need to remember because it's always with me. Because I'm stitching from it, or it's right next to me, it's so much easier to use. So I decided that I needed a digital planner. Yep, I was like, I love planning. I like knowing where all my things are. The good thing about this is it's not just sort of your calendar type planner. It doesn't just plan what you're going to do for the coming year or next week or next month. It was a tracker. So you could track things. You could make sure that all, you know, what all the names of your whips were, when you started them, when you finished them. You know, what patterns you've got, what this you've got, what that you've got. All very great, but I needed something that was more like this. So I decided I was going to go find myself a digital planner. Well, I Googled all over, and the only thing that I found was either just normal scrolling, so that you actually download it as a PDF and just work through, which is no good because that's too much like a book for me, or principles. There was no stitching planners, digital planners. Now, for those of you that know anything about digital planning is a big thing now. Lots and lots of people do it. They do journaling, they do travel planners, they do lifestyle planners, they do wedding planners, you name it, they've got a planner for it. But apparently they didn't have a planner for stitching. Sewing, knitting, all of those. But again, the layouts weren't particularly helpful for our type of stuff, our type of craft, our type of hobby. So I decided that, you know what, if I can't buy one, I'm going to have to make one. So I have made my own digital planner, and I decided after I made it and all the effort and time that went into making it, that I would give you all the option to have one too. I took the bull by the horns, opened an Etsy shop and put them into Etsy. So I launched my little digital planners on Friday. So the whole switch into a digital planner or starting your first ever digital planner, whether you're switching from the good old pen and paper to your digital device, or whether you've never had one of these, but I've always actually thought you quite like the idea. I mean, this is it. Digital will not be for everyone. There will be some people out there that will still love the good old pen and paper, which is great. But there are also people that are like me that this just doesn't work. So we are over to the digital planner. So I decided that I would give you a little look of what it is, the sort of equipment that you might need for it, and just show you one of my planners, what's in it, and give you the opportunity to answer any questions that you might have. So without further ado, I'm going to flip this camera around and face you down there, and we can have a little look through the planner. I can show you what's in it, see whether it's something you think you might like. If not, just sit back and see how much I like it. So here are the digital planners, all in different colours. Essentially, both sets of planners are the same. So you've got a floss tube planner and you've got a stitches planner. Now, the only difference is the floss tuber planner comes with some additional layouts and a tab at the top. But other than that, they are exactly the same. It's just the floss tuber has something for people that make floss tube. As you can see, 4 different colours: pink, grey, purple, yellow. When you're in your GoodNotes app, this is the GoodNotes app. Obviously, this demonstration is GoodNotes because that's the app that I use. These planners can be used with Android and can be used with other PDF annotation programs. I just haven't really worked with any of the others. I know there's one called Zodo that a lot of the digital planners use for Android. I have downloaded it onto my tablet, but I haven't really had much of a chance to play with it yet. So until I do, I can't really tell you how to use it. So I will stick with what I know, and that is GoodNotes. So you'll go into your GoodNotes, and then once you've downloaded the file for the PDF into your files of your iPad, and all you do is you'll click on this little plus button. Click on next and it will say import. You're going to import. You'll navigate to your folder using your navigations at the top. Obviously I've navigated to mine, and then you'll see where it is. Mine's sitting on my cloud, and literally you just tap on it and it will download the PDF for you. There we go. So this is the pink one, which is a floss tuber version. So for demonstration purposes only, so I can whiz you quickly through all of the tabs, I'm going to go to the navy one, the grey one. So let me just navigate. Right, so that's the grey one. And you'll notice that at the top of the screen there's two little tabs. There's one that looks like a paper, and there's one that says content pages. So to initially get into your planner, you can either just scroll across with your finger, or you can use this icon here. This little icon up here will always be showing no matter which page you're on, as will this one up here. So just so that you can navigate easily backwards and forwards. So when we click on this, it brings you to this page, which essentially would be the beginning page of any planner that you use. On this page is where you'll find all your blanks, all your blank template layouts. So you can copy these. Please bear in mind that this planner has, when I'm talking pages, they're basically template pages. So there's only really, in most cases, one page of that layout. But the idea is that when you navigate yourself to that layout, you duplicate the page so that you can use it and keep reusing it. So obviously but that's not to say that if you accidentally write on the template that you can't correct the problem without deleting it all and having to rewrite. I'll show you all momentarily, but let me just quickly whiz through all of the pages so you can see what you actually get in both planners, and then I can show you how you sort of navigate the pages a little easier. So obviously your first page is where all your blanks are. You've got a dot grid, you've got graph paper, you've got lined paper, you've got plain paper. Over on the right hand side is where your calendar section is. Please bear in mind that a lot of your navigation is based around up here. So if I click on it looks like a pen with a circle around it. So if I click on that, you'll see like a little drop down menu that comes up, and it's got like pens and all sorts of things and images from my photo area. When you're in this layout and you've got these all showing, you can't navigate any of the hyperlinks or the tabs. So you need to click it again and make those disappear. And at that point, you're no longer in editing mode, and that's where you can navigate around in your planner. So to show you what you've got and in which set, so if we go into February, for instance, you click on your tabs at the side, they'll bring you to the month. On the month spread, literally, it is that. It is an undated calendar. There was a method to the madness. If I'd done it as a dated calendar, year on year, you would have to purchase another one, and not everyone wants to do that. Because they're not necessarily always interested about the calendar side of things, and they're more interested in about the tabs at the top, which is all of their tracking for their stitching. So I've made them all undated. If there's a big request and a lot of feedback saying that they would have actually preferred a dated calendar, then obviously I can create one that's dated, but it just felt to me that it was right to do it as an undated calendar, so that way if they want to date it, you can date it. If you don't want it dated, you can, because the beauty of an undated calendar is you can use it year over year over year. That's really essentially what I was trying to do. So obviously when you click on the February, now, although you can't see it, on the Monday, underneath the Monday, under every box, so there's 6 boxes there for the month. So that way, at no point will you not have enough weeks to fill out, because it's undated. So there's 6 boxes along here, and that's 6 weeks. And every Monday, if you want to navigate to that week, you just click on that box and it will take you to the week layout. Okay. If you want to go back, we go back to February, it will take you back to the months. So on the month layout, obviously you can decorate this to your heart's content. You can date it. I've got some little mini calendar stickers that you can stick over on the side here. And obviously lots of other stickers that you can play around with on it. So you've got space here for any notes or, doodles or decorating. Again, there's some more down here, but you'll notice down here on the bottom right hand corner, there's 2 little tabs. These are the only 2 pages that instead of putting up in the top section under projects, planning, stash, goals and finance, I've put them under the months, under the January to December, because these are the ones that I like to have every month. At my fingertips, so to speak. So if you click on the one that looks like a little calendar, that is actually the WIP's monthly tracker. So the tracker that I use, where I can work out how many days of the month each project got touched on. That's basically what this is. You put the project name in, and then obviously days of the month up to 31, and I would just tick whichever one I've stitched on what days, and that way I can then transfer that information into a big Excel spreadsheet so that I can see exactly what I've stitched on for the whole year, what's got the most amount of touches. So basically every month is the same. So February, there's March, there's April, May, June. So if you want to navigate, you just literally use these tabs along the side. The other thing that I've put in under the every month is this page, which is a how is my stitching doing this month. It's basically like a little So cross between a reflections and a hold accountable. It's one of those things that I like to be able to sort of, as the month's going on, you know, biggest lessons learned. So if it's something I've learned that month, I'll quickly wiggle that in there. And then I reflect on that at the end of the year of things I've learned, things that I need to spend more time on, things that I've completed, things that I could improve on. They're just like little inspiration moments, stroke reflection moments. I personally like it, so I put it in. It's not for everyone, and that's fine. But if that's the case, just don't use those pages. So, and then again, to navigate back, you just click on the February tab and you're back into the February section. Like I say, if you want to go to the weeks, if I wanted to go to the first week of February, you click on the Monday and it will bring you to your weekly spread. Now, it looks very bland and it looks very boring. I've done that again because there's a lot of people that like to decorate their stickers themselves. You know, they like to personalize it to their heart's content. So I've left it very blank. I have got stickers with numbers on so that you can date everything. There are other stickers so that you can decorate it. But essentially it's for those that like a nice, simple, clean look. You've got a weekly calendar spread as well. So that's in both. So that's your January to December. So you've got your normal calendar, what you would expect. The bit that we're all really interested in is the bit along the top. So the one that I'm showing you at the moment is a non-Flosstuber one. So this is your bog standard digital planner. There's two ways to navigate in this. You either use the tabs across the top, or over on the top right hand corner there's like a little icon that looks like where it says content pages, and it looks like a little book. If we click on that, it will take you directly to a content page, and every single line that has got something written in it is hyperlinked, which means it's clickable. It will take you directly to that template that you're looking for. You might not want to do it that way. If you want to go to, say, projects, you might want to click on the projects, and there's dividers. So you've got dividers for each section. And I've left them blank again so you can decorate them to your heart's content. But if you just want to go straight to the layouts, then there is the option of using the content page. So if we really quickly whiz through these pages. So underneath projects, you've got sales tracker, which basically tracks all your stitch alongs. I'll do it through the content page. You've got a whips list. So this is your whips, your start date, finish date, FFO'd. Fabrics at a glance, always very helpful because I'm forever forgetting the fabrics that I'm using and what it's been stitched on. So again, project name, fabric designer, fabric colorway, the count, and whether I've stitched it 1/1 or 2/2. Project portfolio, I find this one really helpful because I can add an image. So you'll see up here, there's a little space for you to actually take your images and put your images in so you can see it. It's a visual thing. You've got your project name, start date, finish date, and a space for any notes that you might have. Project tracker. It's a cross between a project tracker and a finishing tracker, really. So I put all the details in about the project, but I also use this for ones where I know I'm definitely going to do the project and I sort of partially kit it, but not necessarily all of it. So it asks the question, project kitted up, yes or no? Have all the materials, yes or no? Fabric choice and additional material. So sometimes I'll have something partly kitted, but I'm not really ready to stitch it, so I don't really want to spend the money to go and get all of the stuff. So in this circumstance, this is where I find it ideal because I'll add in the bits that I still need to get, and then when I know I'm actually sort of 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks away from actually picking it up to stitch it, I'll just go to here and order the rest of the stuff that I need, so that I know. And then over here it's got finishing details. There's a little space here for you to put an image of your finishing, whether it's a gift or not a gift, how I finished it, the date I finished it, and then obviously there's a notes section at the bottom for any notes that you might have or want to take. So that's under the project section. So if we go to the planning section, so planning section is basically a shopping list to start with, most important. So this is obviously your chart name, your fabric, any additional information, other supplies you want, and then a list of all the threads that you need to get for that project. A cross stitch to-dos, I've stuck some stickers on there, ignore the stickers. They do come with the with the digital planner, all color coded to the planner that you purchased, but me being me, I've just stuck stickers all over it. And you'll notice down here at the bottom, it says it's a status bar. It's basically a status bar. So I'll put little squiggles on these squares here. So what needs to get done, whether it started, is it completed, or have I cancelled and I'm not bothering to do that as a to-do. I tend to find I need to-dos lists. There's so many times that I'm going to do something and I forget. So I have a to-dos list. So whether that be finishing something, whether it be tracking something, it's just a great cross-stitch to-dos. Then we've got a wish list, most important. So when we're sitting there watching our floss tube, someone enables us and shows us something, and then we go on a website and we go look at it and we're totally enabled, but it's like, no, I can't really get it just yet. There's a little space over here for you to put a little picture in, because I'm forever forgetting what something looked like, but I know that I really, really wanted it and really loved it. The name of the item or what it is, the designer, any item number or the supplier, the price of it, and again there's a space over here for notes. I tend to find I love to do this so that it stops me going crazy when I'm enabled. So what I'll do is I'll put little pictures in of all the things that I'm enabled, but then not allow myself to go spend for at least 3 days and just keep looking at the little list of things and make sure that it's still screaming at me. If it's still screaming at me, then yes, I go ahead and buy it. But love this. I don't ever forget things so much now about what people have shown me and when I've had an enabling moment. But it gives me the option to again have something very visual. Website directory, I don't know about you, I'm renowned for it, but I'll go to a website, thoroughly love what I see, either forget what it was called, or I forget how I get there, or I forget my username, or I forget my password. This makes it so that you've got all that. And again, there's a nice little notes section. You can put notes in, doodles, stickers, whatever you like. Same again for shop directory. I mean, we don't really have it quite so much over here, but I put one in because, as I know, there's a lot of people that have LNSs and stitching stores that are local to them. It allows you to put the shop name in, the address, so that you don't ever forget the sat nav, you know, postcode or zip code, the website URL if it's got one, telephone number, and again a space for you to put notes in. So that's that. Stash section. So the stash section is fabric stash, most important. I love this one. This one really helps because I can actually plan projects without even actually moving from my sofa. So what I do is each time I've got new fabric that comes in or that I've got in my stash, I'll take a picture of it. I'll plop a little picture there, put the name of the fabric in, the brand, how big the fabric is, the price of it, the count of it. And then that way, when I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I really fancy starting a new project or this, that and the other, and you're thinking, oh, I don't know if I've got enough fabric. This way I can go in and check what fabric I've got and what size to work out from my sofa without actually having to go delving through all of my whole box of fabric to see if there's anything that was in the colourway that I thought that I might have. I just find this one really, really helpful. Again, needle minders, forever forgetting which project my needle minders are with. And also I get a lot of questions about my cutesy little needle minders, and people say to me, where did you get it from? I can never remember. Now I don't have that problem. So again, space for a little picture, the designer, its location if it's with a project, how, you know, when I purchased it and how much it cost me. And again, a little note section. Same again for charts. You know, have you ever had that moment where you end up purchasing a chart that you've actually already got? Yeah, well, this should stop that. So this way I can put a little image in of the charts that I've purchased along the side here, the chart name, where I've got it. Sometimes you've got it in a, I don't know, it might be a magazine. It might be an actual chart that you've purchased that's in a box somewhere. That way I know whether it's a magazine or it's, you know, or it's somewhere. And then obviously the details about it. And again, there's more notes taking section over here. So that is the stash. This one won't be for everyone. It's a yearly goals. So basically it's dates that the goals were set. I give myself literally a very small goal, date to achieve it by, and then if I've achieved it, I give it a little tick. And it can just help hold me accountable or remind me of what it was that I thought or said I wanted to try to achieve in the year. This one is an end of year review. This is more of a reflections one. So out with the old year, in with the new. And it is literally small things. So 3 great cross-stitch accomplishments that I've accomplished for the year. 2 cross-stitch things that surprised me. 1 cross-stitch thing I'm proud of. 1 stitching lesson I've learnt. And then for the new year, 3 new cross-stitch ways of working. 2 stitching things I'm looking forward to. And 1 cross-stitch goal. And then 3 new things I'm going to try. Just basically makes me, it's more of a reflections thing and to give me some sort of incentives for the coming year. So, and that is the goal section. Finance. Now, not everyone wants to know too much about their purchases and how much money they've spent, but me being the sort of planner, tracker, and, you know, I like to have everything organised. I love to have a purchase tracker. I'm one of those people that I find it very difficult sometimes to purchase something, and then because I'm waiting for it to come in, but there'll be 2 or 3 things, it's quite easy for me to forget things that I've ordered. And then if they never turned up, I would have been none the wiser. There have been many a time that I've ordered something, completely forgot I ordered it, and then when it's turned up, I'm, oh, what's that? And then it's like, oh yeah, I forgot I had that coming. God, that was ages ago. Plus, many a time people say to me, oh, where did you get that from, Teresa? Now I won't forget where I got anything from. So literally, it's exactly what it says it is. It tracks your purchases. So date you ordered, date received, who your vendor was or your supplier, the contact details, what items you've ordered, if there's a shipping charge, and then what the cost was and total cost. And I'll just do that for everything I order. On the back end of that, this one I actually really love, believe it or not. So I don't like too much detail about what I've spent and on what, but I do like to know month on month how much money I've spent on cross stitch or on my stitching and my stash. So it's literally January to December. So every month I will put in a total figure of how much I spent. And then at the end of the year, it allows me to tally up exactly how much I have spent on my projects and on my stitching, on my hobby. Not everybody wants to know that, but I quite like it. I tend to find that by the time I get to June and July, if I've gone a bit crazy in the beginning of the year, I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to be good for the next 3 months. I'm not buying anything, so that I can keep my total spend down, especially when you know you've got a lot of projects already, and a lot of things. You don't need any more things, but it just holds me a bit accountable and just reminds me how much money I've actually spent. There have been a couple of years where I've had some big purchases, not really took them into equation when I've then been, you know, purchasing later on in the year and buying. When I've actually worked out how much I've spent for the year, it's like, wow, that was a lot more than I anticipated. So again, it's just a little tracker. I find it really useful. So that is basically the crux of the actual planner, for the actual cross-stitch planner. There is a sticker section. Obviously, you won't necessarily get all these stickers. These are the stickers that I've just put in. And there's a few pages for you to have for your stickers. So you can put stickers in. So the stickers come as a set, which I'll show you momentarily. And you just go in and crop them down to make them go onto the page, and then you can use them throughout your planner. And then on top of that, your plain or your blanks are actually at the back of the planner. So you've got your dot grid, you've got your graph, you've got your lined, and you've got your blank, and there's a few blanks in there. Like I said before, all of the pages are templates. So you have to, if you try and delete anything, the problem is if you start deleting things, you mess up the hyperlinks. So my suggestion is never delete anything, but you can duplicate things so that way you can always have a template to work from. So that is basically this. Now, a lot of people are a bit confused over the stickers section. So I'm going to show you how you do your stickers. So when you downloaded your PDF for the actual planner, you will also have got the stickers. So when you download the stickers, again, I would just go into my files where I've downloaded everything. I'll move this over here. So I've just opened the file with GoodNotes open. And then I'll go to my stickers. You click and hold on the sticker and you'll get a drop down box. click on copy. You can now shut that, so I just swipe it off to the side. Click and hold and hit paste. And then your stickers will come in. And these are all sort of, you can size them. Now, they're all on a sticker sheet. This was the easiest way for me to do it. To try and do individuals so that they were all pre-cropped would have just took me forever. So, but you can crop these down yourself. So all you do is once you've got it onto your page, and even if I shut that and close it, if I click and hold again, because my last action was to paste something in or to copy something, it will just keep pasting it in for me. And then what you do is you click on these up down arrows at the top, and it will give you the option of share or crop. You want to crop, and then literally to crop down, so say for instance we want, let's pick one. Let's go with the little happy thing. So you've got a choice down here. You've either got rectangle cropping, which will give you a box to sort of wiggle around like you can see I'm doing, or you can have freehand. When you freehand, it looks like nothing's happening until you put the pen on the paper and you can crop around it and you click done. And then it will crop down that sticker. Now you'll notice that I accidentally caught the section of the other sticker, which you will get because obviously the stickers are quite close together, but you just keep cropping. So if I go into it now, and again, we're still on hand, you'll see it's highlighted, that says hand. We don't want it on hand now, we want it on rectangle. And literally all you do is crop it a little bit more and then click done. Now we've got a sticker that we can size it, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, and when you're happy with it, you just click on the page and your sticker's in. So that's what I mean about the decorating bit. So your stickers, that's how you get your stickers into the planner. Let me just show it to you one more time for the file section. So if I move that down, all I'm doing is clicking on the bottom of my page and pulling up, and it will pull up whatever's on your toolbar at the very bottom or what was on the front page. I always have the folder that I've saved everything in there, which gives me the option. Now obviously you can just click on it and it basically disappears your GoodNotes. That's not what you want to do. So you go back into your GoodNotes, you're going to slide up with your finger, and then when you've got it to there, you're going to sort of put your finger on it and you're going to slide it until you see it do that. And when it does that, it allows for you to have both windows open at the same time. And at that point, we can then bring our stickers in. So let me see if I can find you the navy stickers. So we click and hold, copy. You can now swipe that off to the side and shut that. Click on it and paste, and it will paste another set of stickers in. So again, I'm going to crop the stickers. Crop. What we're going to have, let's do this one. And all the stars and twinkles are also copyable, so you can crop right the way down if you want to. So say for instance I want to keep this one and this one, but I don't want that one. I'll go into freehand and I'll crop that as a set like that. Oh, let's do it again, Teresa. Okay, done. And now it's cropped it down. So now I can just place that. And you see what I mean about you can create it and decorate it to your heart's content, which is just how we like it. Let me just wiggle this a little bit because you know that it will switch off if I don't. So that is that. So this is the non-floss tube version, and I've shown you how you get your stickers in. So let me flick on over to a floss tube version. So this is the pink one. Of course I would have to have the pink one. And again, same thing applies. Oh, see, now I've just taught myself. You have to remember to go out of the editing mode to be able to click on the links. The only way you can navigate to these is to go into editing mode, but if you do that, all your clickable stuff can't be clicked. So I need to go out of the editing mode, make all the pens and pencils disappear at the top. Now we can click. So again, front page is exactly the same. The months, the weeks, the whip tracker every month, exactly the same. Everything is exactly the same except this bit here where it says floss tube. So all I'm going to do is show you the floss tube in the pink version. So you can click on floss tube at the top, and again you just swipe across like it's a book, or we can go up to our content page up here, and you'll see here that on this one you've got this extra bunch of stuff. Now obviously I've just picked templates that work for me. Not all these templates are going to work for everybody, but you can pick and choose which ones you use. So the first one is the floss tube video planner. So when you're doing your videos, obviously it gives you all the whips that you've shown, the talking points, what the video title is, what category it falls into, when you recorded it, when you published it, links and keywords. I find this fabulous. The amount of times that I get questions on my floss tube where people have asked me something about a video that I done, I don't know, 4 months ago, saying what colour fabric was that for that lady? And it's, well, I don't know what lady she's talking about. What did I show in that one? So now you can now go back 3 or 4 months ago and look at the title of your video from the question that you're being asked and just quickly scan over what it is that you spoke about. So that if someone asks you a question, rather than you having to go back to your video and watch your own video all the way through to work out what the question was, you'll know because you'll have your talking points and you have all of the whips that you were showing in that video here, which will sort of give you a little, you know, light bulb moment of, oh, I know what she's talking about, or I know what he's talking about. So I love to plan. So this for me is ideal. Content ideas, the amount of times I get questions, people asking me, could I do a video on XYZ? Or, you know, someone says, ask me questions, and you think, you know what, maybe I should do a video on that, because that's not the first time I've been asked that question. I've been asked it a number of times. So I find that this is another really good one. Again, it's the idea, question if it was asked, planned date, and published as to whether I actually, you know, followed through with the idea. Video brainstorming, always good when we're sitting here thinking, you know, we've done our monthly update. Is there anything else that we want to do a video on? You know, think a bit outside the box. What would people like to see? What would they like to know? I always like to know that, you know, I've planned a video sort of in a sort of semi-structured way. I know sometimes I ramble on a bit like this one. Giveaways. Now this is another key one that I'm forever. I do videos with giveaways. It's so easy to forget what day you said you was going to do the draw. It's so easy to forget what the name of the winner was. And it's so easy to forget what it was that you purchased to give away in the first place. So this one is basically your video title, the milestone or the event for the giveaway, what the prize was, the announcement date, so the date that you announced it on, the draw date that you said that you're going to do it on, the winner, which is always important to know the person's name, and the method, you know, did you ship it? Was it online? Was it a voucher? And then again, there's notes space over on this side for you to sit, decorate, or to write yourself little self notes at the same time. Channel analytics. Again, this isn't for everyone, but I always find it rather interesting to sort of to look at the information. So obviously you've got your months, you've got the number of subscribers that you have each month, number of views you get, your watch time, revenue if you've got the Google AdSense thing, and then any notes. And that's rather interesting because you tend to sort of see where the trends are. Sometimes you have peaks and troughs. So at the moment with COVID-19 and the lockdown, there's a lot of people watching FlossTube. So all of a sudden the subscriber rate goes up. But then under normal circumstances, that wouldn't necessarily happen. So I find trend lines really fun to watch. And especially to see, like, when you post something that's a bit outside the box, you know, and you get to see, you know, from your view time and your number of views, what videos people are really liking. So that way you can sort of try and make the same sort of videos so that you're making the content that people really find interesting. And the other thing that I like to do at the bottom is 1Q, 2Q, 3Q, 4Q. So that's the quarters of the year, best performing videos. So that I can sort of say, well, you know, actually that video did well. So maybe I need to make another 1 or 2 of those because people liked that. So I find that a really good one to have. Passive income. Obviously, a lot of people have Google AdSense now, as well as Etsy shops, and you know they sell things to do with their floss tube or to do with their channel. So again, there's a space for month. There's an income source, whether it be Etsy or whether it be, you know, floss tube, or whether it be, you know, their blog, and then the amount, and then again any notes. YouTube expenditures, you know, for those that do FlossTube and YouTube, you know that it's not always cheap. There are times that we need to go and buy a new camera, or we buy a new webcam, or we have to go and buy an SD card, or, you know, various other things. I like to track all of that and know how much. It's like the giveaways. You know, when you're doing a giveaway, if it's not something that you're giving away that's sort of a pre-used chart, I like, you know, that costs money, and then the shipping for that costs money. So before you know it, you could actually be spending a lot more money than you realise to do your YouTube videos or to do your giveaways. Or I just find that a really useful thing. It's all to do with my YouTube channel, and it's expenditures for the fact that I do the videos. And that's it. So basically that's it in a nutshell as to what this section has in it. So it is literally, this is the additional section that you get in the FlossTuber one versus the cross stitch one. Other than that, everything else in this planner is identical. It's just that there's some extra bits. So I've shown you how to put stickers in. Now, you'll notice that when I've been doing this, I have an Apple Pencil. Now, yes, if you can have an Apple Pencil, or you have an Apple Pencil, you will find it so much easier to play around in it. So for instance, when I'm writing, so if I put on there, what can we put on there? If we go to our editing mode and we pick our pen, let's pick a colour that's conducive to the calendar. Right, let's pick a pink one. It's really easy for me to write in it. And you can write big, you can keep it so that the page is small. And you can write big, or you can blow it right up. Say start date, what's today's date? 27th of the 4th, 2020. So you can write like that. But like I say, you don't have to have this. I mean, just as an example, this is a normal little stylus thing with one of them squishy things. But it doesn't write very well, I'll be honest. So if I try and write, I don't know, hello again, it doesn't really do it. I mean, mine's set for the thing anyway, for the Apple Pencil. But the other thing you can do, if you don't have a stylus, that doesn't mean you can't do digital planning, because we've got text box. So you click on the text box, and I can put in here, I don't know, you might not have particularly pleasant handwriting. You might want it typed. You can go into the text box and you can type in whatever you want. You can move it around to place it where you want it. And you can also, so if I click on it and select all my text, I can go up here and I can change my font. So I want it felt marker. The camera stopped again, and I have no idea how much you saw. So I'm gonna go back a bit and hope that this is what you saw. Right, so back to text boxes. So you click on a text box, it will bring up the keys. You can type in there. You can move it around. If I double click on it, it will select everything that's in the text box. Over here, you've got what looks like a big A and a little a. If you click on that, that changes all your settings for your fonts. So I'm going to change my font. I'm going to go with felt marker. And then back to style. And then I might want to make it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. I mean, you can make your text box a little bit bigger. There we go, make my text box a little bit bigger. Click back on that. I can align it. I can change my font. I can change my background color. I can make a border. And you've also got the option to save as a default. So you can save that type of text so that whenever you type going forwards, it will save that. That's the type of text you'll get. And you just click on that and then there's your text box. So you don't have to have a pencil. You don't have to have where you write on it yourself. You don't have to have a stylus to use or try to use. Or even sort of try and write with your finger. So you can use the text box function and put all of your notes in so that it's, you know, you might like, I've got really scruffy handwriting, and for some people they don't like looking at their own handwriting, but they love to see text. And like I say, you can change the colour of the text. So if I click on the text, highlight it, let's change it to green. I can change it to green. Click on it again, highlight it all. What colour should we go? Let's change the colour, shall we? Should we go lime green? There you go. Only thing is though, because I drew on it, let's take all the drawing off. Oh, there we go. So yeah, so you see what I mean. You don't need to have a pencil. You can do all this via the text boxes to fill out your planner and to put stuff in it. What else is I going to show you? The lasso tool. So you know I was saying about the way that the planners work is we don't ever really delete pages, because if you start deleting pages you run into the problem of that you can unlink pages, which means all of your hyperlinks stop working. So within GoodNotes, up here there's 4 squares. So if we click on the 4 squares, and it takes a little while for it to drop in. There you go, it's loading. This is all of your pages in your planner. All of your pages. And like I say, each one of the layouts is more of a template rather than a set of pages. So for instance, well, it's a bit like if we use what we've just done as an example. Now we know we've written all over that, but we haven't got another one of it. The next page along, so if I go to the next page along, is our whips template. And I'm like, oh no, I've just written all over my actual template. It's not a problem. Whatever page you're on, if you go up and you click on this and you go to your thumbnails, the page that you're on will turn like a highlighted blue around the outside edge. So you know that's your page that you're on. Okay. Let's close that. So if we go to the one that we've just written all over, and this is our template, so oh no, I haven't got another one. We can click on our 4 squares. Right, there we go, that's better. So it's highlighted with the blue box. So that is the page that is my template. So what I tend to do is before I even start playing in my calendar, in my digital planner, there's a little arrow underneath. I'll click on that and I'll do duplicate. Okay, so I'll duplicate it a few times so that I always know that I've got a spare template. Now, if you've just done what I've done, where you've actually written all over the template and you're like, oh no, I've got no template now, it's not a problem. So what we can do is we can close that. We're in the one that we writ all over, which might be the one that we want to keep. And then you might want to template the next one and then just keep templating as you go. If you go up to your rubber, which is this one, eraser, you've got a different set of functions. I just keep it on the normal one. And then I'll click and I will scrub out everything I've written. Now you're sitting there going, well, you scrubbed out everything you've written, but what about those text boxes? It's not a problem. There's a lasso tool here. So if you go onto the lasso tool and you double click it, it will show on there. You can make it so that it selects handwriting, it selects images, and it selects text boxes. Now you won't necessarily want all of those on because you won't want it to necessarily delete everything. But for now we will. And we're going to select our text boxes. And then when we click on it, it gives us the option to delete it. So now, if we scroll back, we've still got the page that we writ all over. So we haven't lost any of the information that's gone in, but we have got a blank template. But what I tend to do before I even start playing, so let's just pick an example. So let's just say this one, for instance. So project supplies and shopping list. I know I'm always going to need more than 1 or 2 projects shopping lists. So whilst on this page, I will click up on the top, which will give me my little blue box around it. And I'll go in and I will just literally, and it will throw another page in. I'll just duplicate the page. So that way, when I start writing on stuff, I know I've got some spares. And it reminds you every now and then you need to go in and make sure that you've still got a template version. So literally each one of the slides that I showed you, or each one of the layouts in here, is a single template. So you will need to go and duplicate that template a number of times so that you've got some to work with and you can play on. So there is that. Now, when we go to the ones where we was looking at, so we need to click back off edit mode to be able to go to our links. So if we go to, say, project portfolio. Now, when I was showing you this one with the one where you can put your own pictures in, they're formatted in such a way that they're for pictures that took landscape on your phone. So let me get my phone and wipe it because it's really dirty. Don't take pictures. Oh, we don't want to see that, do we? That's it. Don't take pictures facing this way up. Okay, so when you take a picture, take it this way up. That's how you, it's this 3x4, I think it is, or 4x3. Most of the boxes are set up that they will accept almost all photos in that sizing, like that. So you'll take a picture of your given project, whether it be the finished piece, you know, the chart itself, or whether you want a picture of your stitching, whichever. And we'll go to, say, this project portfolio section. Now, I know that I've only got one of those, so I'll need to duplicate that page. And then I'll go back to the beginning one. So now I know I've got a copy of it, so I don't need to worry about having to delete anything. But I want to put my little picture in so I can put my information in. So to give you an idea, so we'll click on our edit mode. So it goes back into editing mode, everything comes back. And we want to add our picture. So you've got one that looks like a moon with, well, it looks like a picture. So we can click on our picture. Now, the first set of photos that's on your iPad will start to come up. But you might not want to go there. So if you click again, you can go to all pictures. Let's use this as a picture, right? Just say that this is a project. It will put the picture in and then I can resize it. See, I use this little arrow down on the side. You can delete or stop, you know, cancel it by clicking that one if you click on the wrong picture. But if you size it down, I mean, they're not going to necessarily fit 100%. But you can use the arrows to sort of take it, you know. Hold up. You can use the arrows to stretch it up a little bit if you want to. I don't tend to like to do that too much because it distorts it. But in this sort of scenario, it's not really too bad. And then you click off that. And then now I've got a picture. So I can see my project. And then I go onto my pen tool and I can write, okay, so this is planner. 27 for the 4th, 20, I don't know, 28 for the 9th, 20, yada yada yada. You get the idea. So that's how you can put stuff in. And again, you can, if you need to move stuff, it's easy enough. You could either just click on, oh, if you decide you just need to move stuff, it's not a problem. Use your Lasso Tool. And again, double click on it. I don't want to pick handwriting because I don't want to accidentally pick any of this up. And there aren't any text boxes, so it's images that I want to move. So literally, I'll just stick a little lasso. You don't have to do it all the way around it. You just have to do a little circle on it. And now I can move it. So I could move it to there. But if I want to move it back, lasso it again. And place it back in now. And again, it's same with text. So if I go to my Lasso Tool, turn off images, turn on handwriting, lasso all that, I can move that. I'll put it over there instead. But if it's all wrong, I can delete it. But it won't delete my picture. So this is what I like about digital planning. You can't do this with a paper planner. If you make a mistake in a paper planner and you write on it and you write it wrong or you do something wrong, then it can just look all really messy. Whereas obviously with this, it's different completely. So what else to tell you? If we go over here, you'll see in the stickers, so we're holding up, sticking and holding and pulling it over to the sides. If we go to, what are we on, pink? So we'll click and hold that and copy, tap and paste, and it's put our stickers in. And this is the other sticker set that you get. So you get functional stickers and you get my doodles of which I created, but you also get the mini monthly calendars, which are really helpful if you don't want to put all of your numbers in. So literally you go up to the top, you see the little double arrows in both different directions, click on those arrows, do crop. We're in January, we're going to take it to rectangle so that we get our rectangle, and I'm going to crop down this sticker. The idea is you want to try and crop down to as close as you can, but not necessarily on it. So then when I put done, that's our January sticker. So now I can resize that by using this little arrow thing at the side. And then place it up there so that I've got a little mini calendar in my calendar. And again, if you want to date, for those that want to date their calendars, go to your files, drag it back out, pink sticker, copy, you click and hold, you'll get a drop down. We're going to do copy, and then we're going to hit paste, and then our stickers drop in. And this is where obviously the stickers are for if you want to date your calendar. It could be rather time consuming, but that's fine, because once you've actually put the sticker in for that date for 1 month, then you can just copy and paste it in from month to month. So if we just go down and we crop out, I don't know, the 1st. I don't know what day the 1st was on January, so we're just going to make it up as we go along. Now, you can't necessarily get close enough with all those, especially the fact that the cropping screen doesn't get any bigger. You can't expand that. So I get it as close as I can and then click done. And then it gives me the row. But obviously it's bigger, it's easier to work with. So I'll then click on again and do crop. And it lets me crop it down. And then so say for instance Monday was the 1st. It probably wasn't, but we're going to say it was. What was it? Yeah, Monday was the Wednesday. Oh, that's not what you want to do. See, that's what you don't want to do. Start changing its ratio. I'm going to click off that because I just messed it up. But if I click and hold and paste, because my last action was to paste it, I'm just going to redo it. So we'll crop it. But this shows you how it works. So do you know what? It might be easier to freehand it. There we go. Done. And we're going to edit that again. Crop. But we're going to turn it into a rectangle. Crop it down. Okay, done. Resize it to the size I want. And then I'm going to move it to the Wednesday. I'll sort of place it where I want it, because obviously all the time it's got the little square things around it. You can't really see it. So then I'll click off of it. I'll blow my page up, as you do. Get my lasso. And obviously this is an image because it's a PNG. I'll lasso on it. But it lets me place it a bit better. See? Now, what I was saying about once you've placed it once, you don't necessarily need to go and do all that copy and pasting thing all over again. So what we can do is, say for instance, obviously if I click on the Monday now, oh, we need to go in out of editing mode. Click on the Monday. We've got no dates in our week, but that's not a problem, because if we go back to our month, click on our editing mode, lasso on it and then click on it. See, now there's a difference. So if you lasso it, click and hold, it gives you the option to edit or paste it. We don't want to edit or paste it. But if we lasso it and then just click it and take our hand back off, it gives us the option to copy it. So if we copy that, go back out of our editing mode, and we're going to go to that week. Now we know it's the Wednesday. Go back into our edit mode, click and paste. It now pastes it back in for us. So now we can date our week, and you can just go through and date a few weeks at a time if you want to do it that way. And then obviously a lot of the functional stickers are for more the calendar type thing. So if we go to the functional stickers, so again, copy, paste it in, close our files down. Say for instance, as an example, we wanted one of our stickers. Let's crop one of our stickers down. What should we do? Should we do this one? You can see how easy it is to just sort of sit and doodle with it. I like doodling. Now you'll see again, because I'm trying to crop the stickers and they're also very close, it's caught the end of another one, but it's not a problem because we can just click on crop again, crop a little closer, job done. So now we can place this. So I don't know, you might want to there you go. So say Sunday's my stitching day. And you can decorate your calendar. And then we can put a little picture in. Oh, without doing it like that. Too heavy-handed, Teresa. Now, the other thing you can do, and this is the reason that I was showing you the sticker section. So if I click and hold that and copy. Cancel that. And then go to our sticker section. Get out of edit mode. Go into our sticker section. We can place our stickers at the end under stickers. So for instance, if I crop, and once you've copied it once, you can just do a load of them. So I can stick that over there, click on it again, paste. So you can do like a bunch of them all at the same time. Now see, I might not want the I don't want the twinkles. No, I don't want any of the twinkles. It's not a problem because we're going to crop again. Go to freehand. And we'll just freehand round. So we just want just a sticker. And again, size it, place it. And you can have all your stickers on your sticker sheet. So that way, when you then decide you want to go and use that sticker somewhere else, so for instance now, I want to use this sticker. Lasso the sticker, tap on it, copy, come out of our edit mode, go back to January, there, click and hold, paste, and now I can place my little sticker. So that's essentially what you can do with the calendar. But again, it's all personal preference. Some people like to sit and do doodles and have little pretty things. They want to write on stuff. You know, you could sort of put on here on Sunday, stitch on evening in the park. And then you've got your little notes. Or if you don't have a pencil or a stylus, or you can't get on with it, we can put a text box in. Stitching on and draw Andromeda. And obviously it doesn't fit because it's too big. I'm trying to move it around. Double click, drag those so that it highlights your text. Go to your font, change the size. Let's put it about there, about 32. And then we can move it around. Job done. So you've got your notes. So like I say, you don't have to have the pencil, you don't have to have the stylus. Everything can be done via text box if you don't like handwriting or you can't read it. You can blow everything up so that you can see. You know, if you go into your planning, you know, and say you want to write a note in here, you can write a note in here. If you want to tick something, we've got little ticks. The one thing I do like to use is in the sticker section. So if I go pink, copy, paste, shut that down. So under the functional stickers, which is what these are, you'll see there's like a tick. So if I crop that, rectangle, okay, edit, crop, bring that down, done, and then resize it. So we've got a tick. So what I'll do is I'll lasso that, copy. Now go out of my editing mode, go back into say January, and you know I said about this down here, my tracking. So say, I don't know, I'm going to use one as an example. Go back into editing and do Andromeda. Probably not how you spell it. And today's day is the 27th. I can then paste my little check. It's the only thing, you have to remember to come out a pencil, which I'm forever forgetting. But let me just quickly delete that pencil mark out. There we go. See, if I do that, I'm in writing. So I'm writing over the top of my little sticker. So we have to come out of that. That's it. Now, first of all, I want to resize it because I want it to fit my, and I want to move it. So stick it there. So this is how I use my little ticks. My little ticks are for this. And then say the next day, I've stitched it again. I'll lasso it, tap it, copy it, click on the one next to it and paste. I like to align it a little bit. But then that's how I get my ticks in. But you could literally just copy this tick, paste him for the size that you want him up here, so that you've always got one that you can just lasso around. So finally, there was one thing that I thought actually I didn't touch on that I think I should touch on, so that you know. If, say, for instance, we're in our planner. Let me go to my... Where can we go? Let's go to Flosstuber, for instance. Okay. So I've got to the end of there, but I actually... There's another thing that I want underneath that. There is a way to get a blank page in so that you can add your own notes under different sections. Okay. So what we can do is we can go into our thumbnails, which is all of the different pages, and we know we've got blanks and we've got dot grids towards the end of our planner. I mean, if you wanted to make sure you was going to your dot grid, you would click on your icon over here, pick your blank, So for instance, we'll say lined. So you want a lined bit of paper so you can write some notes. Obviously, because we've selected this page, if we go up to our 4 dots, it's now going to highlight with blue around our page that we've selected. So we're going to click on the select button at the top there, put a tick underneath it, and you're going to copy it. Okay, let it do its thing. It will say copied. Select done and select close. Okay, now we're now going to go back to our Flosstuber section. Say for instance YouTube expenses. Let's go to the end of the section. Okay, now we know that we want our blank page after that because that's where the next tab is. So what we can do now is we can click on the plus button at the top, and you'll notice it says up here before, after, or last page. We want it after this page that we're sitting on. So we want it after, and we want to paste the page because the page that we just copied is what we want to paste. So if we now paste the page, you'll get your lined bit of paper afterwards. So now if I go to my floss tube, if we go here for instance, we can go into your YouTube expenses, and then there's your lined paper. So if there's a page that you need to put into a section, so let's just do it one more time just so that we can, you know, prove the point. So we'll go back to our beginning. Say for instance we want a graph. Okay, we want some graph paper in one of the sections so that you can do your own notes and you can add a page to one of these top tabs. We go to the page that we actually want to copy. We click on our 4 squares at the top, and it will put a blue box around the one that we're currently on. So we click on select, you give it a tick, so you select it using the little circle, and then at the top here it will say copy. Let it copy, let it do its thing, click on done, click on close. Now, we know it's in our copied section. So now we say, right, okay, we want to go to, say, stash. So under stash, you know, you've got your fabric stash, you've got your needle minder stash, you've got your chart stash. But you want something else. You want to track something else. You want to make your own little something. So we go on the last page that we want. We click on the plus button at the top here, which is the first of the three little squares at the top, or actions. We don't want it before, we want it after, and we want to paste page. So now it's just pasted the page in. So you can add pages to sections that you want so that you can add things to it. I've obviously only done this demonstration in GoodNotes because that is what I use and that is what I'm proficient at using. I will have a little play on my Android, on my tablet at the Zodo, and see whether I can work out how to use that. And if I can, then I will do another video to show you how to use a digital planner on Android. But it is possible. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos. In fact, you could actually go on to YouTube and look up planning in Zodo, or, you know, digital planners using Zodo, and there are a ton of tutorials of different Android apps that you could use. So, you know, resources are at our fingertips. But the fact that we're all stuck at home and, you know, yes, we're doing our stitching, I found personally that it's inspired me to be much more organised and much more, you know, I want to be planned, I want to be organised because I've got the time. Yeah, this has just been the way to go for me. So there you go. If you decide that you would like to try out one of my planners and you head on over to Etsy and go purchase one, please make sure to give me some feedback. Any feedback that I get obviously is extremely useful, whether it be that there's layouts that you'd like that aren't in there, whether there's things in there that you think actually don't really think you need that. Any constructive criticism is welcome, and obviously I love to hear your feedback and get your thoughts of how you think the planner is. So thank you so much, and until next time people, bye bye for now.